more. This is this is your passion. This is your love. It's the conversation.
Bro. I love seeing it. I love. Yeah, cool. Thanks, brother. Can you just turn that music down a little bit too, man? Thanks, bro. What percentage are these on? 20. Yeah, sweet. Cool. Cheers, bro. Cool. I do love it, man. I love. Yeah, like I like seeing what comes out of it.
Yeah.
I like seeing the quality that bounces out. And there's so many good bombs, man, that get dropped in here, and what you can do with it and stuff. So it's really cool, man. But bro, welcome, man. It's I'm so stoked to have you on here, man. Got Toby Atkins, good friend of mine, and I'm gonna start again. Addy, fucking hell, it's in my intro. We should put that in there. Fucking Addis comes,
mate.
Jamie comes sticking his head back in the door. No, so I've got Toby Atkins, good friend of mine. I think, in my opinion, one of the best brilliant business minds I know, and problem solvers, mate. So I'm so stoked to have you in, man. And I'm excited, mate. I'm so excited to just break this down with you, mate. So thanks for coming in.
My absolute pleasure, man. And thank you. That's a big wrap. Yeah, putting the pressure on, mate.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. Not at all. So what are you working on, man? What are you working on these days? That's probably a big question to ask you.
It is a big one. Geez. There's a few things going on. I guess for me, one of the biggest things that I always do is keep the end in mind. So, I was only just talking earlier to one of your colleagues in here. Lukey. Shout out, Mr. Big Guy. But about, I guess, my dream, man, like where I actually want to end up. Yep. And so oftentimes, I mean, I'm sure we can get into that in a moment, but oftentimes what I'm working on now is always trying to get to that point.
Yes.
So I guess on a day-to-day basis, I'm working on the ability to help reconstruct the mindset of leaders and managers.
Right.
To be able to grow others, to be able to expand. So I guess that's, I
love that, man.
Yeah.
I vibe that. Well said. Well said. What's the biggest challenge? What do you with that? Actually, why are you trying to do that?
Yeah. It's a great question. I think for me, it's one of the biggest missing links that's in business at the moment.
Right.
I'm now, you could call it across 4 different companies. I have some sort of share in. And one of the biggest things that I keep seeing time and time again is as a business grows through its different stages and tries to become larger, you get a whole need for a different skill set where it's not about as much management as it is about leadership and the ability to grow others. And instead of, I guess, dictating and managing, it becomes about growth of other people. And it's a skill that seems not as easy and not as, I guess, plentiful. Like it's something that, you look at a lot of different companies and there's a lot of different managers and you can look at them on an individual level and you're like, wow, that guy's doing some great stuff. But if you look deeper, it's very reliant on them.
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of repeatability and scalability. And the other thing that always plays on my mind a lot with this kind of stuff is that you want to inspire growth and you want to inspire people, right? Because ultimately, you hear it time and time again in many different quotes that the people in your business are your greatest asset, right? And then you hear the opposite is, that are either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. Yeah. And I feel like people talk a lot of shit. They talk a lot of quotes, right? They talk a lot about this stuff, but they don't action any of it. And they get involved in business and management and they talk about, like, if you ask them what's your greatest asset, they give you the answer. Yeah, it's my people. It's like, great. So how are you treating your asset? Because, typically you should be looking after your assets. Yeah. Like that's
100%.
Like wealth, growth, like relationship, it's everything. You look after assets. Yeah. And you dig deeper and you recognize and realize that they're not really looking after them at all. And their actions are really treating them like a liability. It's like, you talk about, how this person's fucking hard. This person is, sorry, I'm
Fucking drop that.
So
I do have one of these buttons, man, but I never use that one. Don't worry.
I need one here, mate. I need one here. Yeah, but like, and so, you know, like it's a big recognition point for me. Yeah. Like, and particularly as the company grows, you see a lot of scenarios what happen when people go away and when people go away on leave or get sick and you're looking at all these different things that are occurring and things fall apart. And you're like, well, like why? Like why do they fall apart when that one person, there's a company of like 36, when one person goes away, shit falls apart.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. And when you look deeper and you recognize that the manager or in that situation is creating a lot of reliability on them, and those underneath them aren't necessarily growing, they're just being utilized almost like an assistant. You realize that that's not scalable. And so that's, I guess, one of the biggest problems and why I'm trying to solve it is because I want to scale.
Yeah.
And grow people.
Yeah. So do you find like there is like, do you find, because what you're talking about is leadership?
Yes.
Yeah, in essence, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that people are either born leaders and or can be developed into a leader?
I'm an optimist, you know that.
Yeah.
So I'm of the belief that you can teach it.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, why I'm spending so much time in it.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
in answer to your question, I'm trying to unpack, I guess, the realization in people that management can get you so far.
Yeah.
But it won't get you to a lot of people have really ambitious goals, yeah?
Yeah.
And a lot of those, like for me, geez, I'm going all over the place, but...
Go there, bro.
I'm a big believer that the value that you hold as an individual is a value that you can give. Yep. Right? Yep. So seems pretty straightforward and logical.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't act by that statement either, yeah? So you're like, yeah, of course, you know. But the value that a lot of people judge people on is by the value they get.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, is that person successful? It's like, I don't know, how much do they have? And I'm like, yeah, but the have is a result of what they've given. Whereas you see in this day and age, everyone's working on trying to get more.
That's true.
You know, and it doesn't work that way, right? Because they're trying to get it from someone.
Yeah.
And from someone, whether it be a client or a business owner or a colleague or whatever, a contract, right? So I'm like, if you're trying to get more, the only way you're going to actually get more is if you're able to give more. So if you focus on the ability to give more, innately your value will increase.
Yep. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love where you're going there.
Yeah. So
Did you work on this shit all last night, or?
No, I didn't get my questions. So yeah, I guess this kind of wraps around my brain a lot. So my brain's a minefield, but so I'm trying to make sense of my brain, I guess, you know, for yourself and the audience. But like, so if I bring that back into that leadership question, like, do I believe that can be taught? I think so, yeah. I mean, it's logical in nature, the way that I've just explained it, yeah. So in leadership, it's about, it's not about you, right? Which is almost the way that management is perceived.
Yes.
I need to get something done, so I'm going to get these guys to do it for me so I can get what I need to get done, right? Whereas leadership, in my opinion, is the flip side of that, right? So it's like, okay, well, if we need to get something done, or we have a common mission or direction or an outcome we're trying to achieve, how can I help them help the team get to its mission? So it's instead of it's about you do things for me, it's about me actually do things for you. And when you put all that together, that's where the outcome comes from. Yep. And I think that can be taught. It's challenging, and I guess that's why when you ask me what am I focusing on, I went more down that I guess abstract level of explaining what my brain is trying to work on, not like I guess the objective and what businesses am I working on and where is that going, and I'm sure we can get there, but that if I can master that, I can help a lot of people,
Yep.
which can help a lot of people, so on and so forth.
I'm with you. So yeah, okay. My question: how important do you think vision is in that scenario? Then
That's really cool. It's an interesting question for me because vision has always been, for me, probably the most important thing. So I would answer that in that way, right? Like without that, it's like, where do you go? I've been challenged on this recently, which has been really cool, right? And the challenge that's been posed to me is that not that vision isn't as important as I perceive it, and from conversations and how much I know you, I'm sure you agree with that. But it's been asked to me, how easy is it for other people to grapple with your vision?
yeah,
And honestly, I have to answer that. And that question that was asked of me, I was like, whoa, yeah, tough.
yeah,
They get it on face value, but when it comes to day-to-day actions, it's oftentimes greatly missed. And it was a really cool conversation, and basically it led to, well, that's the importance of a mission.
right.
So I think vision is incredibly important for a founder, a leader, of an organization or of anything really, like to have like that vision. But I think as far as leadership of others go, it would be almost more important to have a mission. Like if you sat in front of me and said, which one do you need to achieve success in an organization with others, I would have to say a mission's almost more important these days.
So tell me, break it down then. Like this is interesting to me, bro.
Yeah.
So why do you think mission instead of vision?
So I think, typically a vision is, it's like a guiding star, right? Like it's something that's so far fetched that it has more of the how, right? Like it's in the why. Like it's hard to give this answer without, like, I guess, an explanation. So for me, one of the organizations that I run and look after is Atkins Health, and its vision is to revolutionize health, right?
Yes.
So, everyone's like, okay, cool. I understand what revolutionizing health, like those two words mean. And, when you put those two together, I can kind of get the gist of where you're going with it.
Yeah.
But if I was to ask someone in my team today,
What does that mean?
or even go as far as to say, how have you revolutionized health today? They would be like, oh, shit, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
And so then you turn around and go, well, what about this week? I saw clients.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Whereas if I turn around and said, our mission is to achieve and improve health outcomes,
Yes.
how have you done that today?
Yeah.
It's a much easier question to answer, sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I could say, well, I sat down with a client today and I worked out, the cause of the problems that they were getting inflicted by. That enabled me to build a plan that is going to scope out in the next 12 weeks. That's going to essentially, remove these imperfections that are happening within their body, which will ultimately lead to the outcome and the goal that they're looking for. So as far as improving outcomes, for this one individual, yes, I have lived up to that mission, and then if I said, great, like out of all the people you've looked after this month, can you see a trend in the way that you've looked after a certain group of people that we can start to build a method around, and research and see what worked and what didn't? And of course I can do that. Yeah, absolutely. So you see how the mission becomes more tangible. It's more, and that's essentially why I answered that question the way I guess I did.
I'm with you, bro. And knowing you, like, I honestly think you've got such a brilliant operational mind to see a problem and quickly implement something to solve it. And even how I think, because when I even say vision to you, like it was very vision statement, very broad.
Yes.
I think when I think about vision, and this is something too that really I think in the last year, and probably even more so 6 months, is I can just see the importance of like, cool, like there's the vision statement, which is this big superfluous broad thing that doesn't really, people can't really relate to.
As an owner, you can, and it's the reason, but others can't. Yeah,
correct. But really, but the vision. When I sort of think about vision too, it's like on a what does it look like? Like, where are we going to be? It's really the goals, I think, too, right? Like, it sort of feeds into the goals, and it's that story you can tell about how it's going to be and what does it look like. And it's like, are you in or are you out? Like, does that shit excite you? Do you want to get on this fucking train or what? Like, to me, like that is all vision, and I just found it really interesting how you fucking just broke that right down, knowing you, and I love it. I do love it, and because I even say that too, because mission is probably something I more struggle with.
Interesting,
right? Like, so I have it there,
because
you have, you need your vision statement, you have your mission statement, and but it's just something that. And I don't know if it's because of my personality type and role as a leader, where I'm just like I just know what I'm excited by for the vision to be, and I feel like my job. If my team don't know that, like fucking first, like bang, fail first off as a leader, as a whatever it is, as a manager.
Yeah.
But man. So mission statement, you see that as like fundamentally breaking down like what that vision is to like something, or you can break down on a day-to-day, week-to-week. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because I'm so in your head right now. Like, man, I could not agree with you more. Right. Like even in the organizations that I'm involved in, where I have a very large part, obviously, in constructing what the mission statement is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a shit about it, man. Like, I don't care about the mission statement. I care about the vision. The mission statement is just one of the steps to get to my vision.
Right.
Like, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
But what I've recognized is that not everyone's like you and I.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you and I can talk on that. And if you told me your mission, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Like, what's your vision, man? That's what gets me excited. The same thing, exactly what you just said. But I think that's what makes us you and I. Like, that's what makes us unique, and that's what makes us the type of people that will throw literally everything we own at and take all the fucking risks that the world will give us the opportunity to do at this purpose, which is our vision. But that's why we're like the people who are involved in these teams. That's not who they are. That's not what they're like, right? And so. Because I've been on this journey where I'm the same, right? Like, I'll rock up and I'll sit in a group and I talk about the vision. Like, I've talked about the vision, I think, every day of my life, right? Like, in all the different organizations. And there is nothing that kills me more than when you have an external person come in and you're in a group environment and they're like, what's your vision? And you get like, 3/4 of the people like not knowing. You're like, mate, have you just not fucking been in the room? Like what are you talking about? In the vision. And you're like, do you remember the time like that yesterday that I said this? And
the slideshow.
What? And you're like, and they're like, oh yeah. And you're like, oh my God, like you don't like that doesn't. And then they ask the mission, and they're like, boom.
Yeah, right.
And it's. I would be interested to see if it's even in the same in your org, because you've got that like those still that you've got team members that would not take the risk or have the vision, like they've come here because of your vision. That's what that draws them in, right?
Yep.
But it's not why they come every day.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think too, bro. I'm just gonna. Mind if I put this on?
No, hit it.
Bro, like. I think too, like now I see the role the vision plays more so now when because I've got time with my team. They know me and they know my ups and my downs, and they know how I operate. They know who I am. But people that don't know me, right? So recruiting now, because we've got this plan to just expand and scale, right?
So cool.
And so the first thing that I think, the most important thing to me is just like interview. I'm like, I'm gonna talk to you about my vision, and literally that's it. And if that shit doesn't inspire you or excite you, then we're not going to go to the next step, right?
Yeah.
And but trying to recruit and do that thing before without coming in with that vision, it was hard.
Yeah.
Because I probably went in and it's really like, oh, so this is the job and this is what we need done, and it's just like that shit just falls into place. If you're coming here and that shit excites you and you want to go after that and you want to lead, you want to have a team, whatever comes in under that, and you're guns blazing about that vision with me.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big fucking plus. Like, let's go. And like, so, but I just think now, because I'm having more conversations with more people, recruiting more, I can see in these people that are coming to devote their time and their life to you.
Yeah.
It's really like, why do I want to come here? And and that's why I think, bro, vision, and that's probably why it's just so in front of me too at the moment because of that, right? So
it's beautifully said though, man. Like that devotion thing, hey, like but it's so true.
People,
They're devoting their life to this cause.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you reckon, out of curiosity, I mean, do you mind sharing your vision?
Yeah, bro. Okay.
Sounds weird, but yeah.
No. So for Bleo,
yep.
Yeah. So probably the one that just sticks in front of my head, man, is I want to expand through Australia, right? But then I also want to pick up this model and then go to Singapore. I want to go to the United States. And I have this crazy vision of having a presence in every capital city in the world.
Sick.
Right? So that is on one of my goals. And so funny, man, like the assistant I was telling you about that I'm training with, she's actually trained in strategic business planning. And so she was itching.
It's meant to be, huh?
That's
cool, huh?
I was like, and I'll show you, like there's this, I use one of the creative platforms that the guys get briefed with, the creatives, right? It's called Milanote. And I use it. I've done this business map, right? Like I'm like, so visual, right? So visual. And I'm just like, I've got all of my shit filed in files and in folders. And I'm like, that doesn't work with me in my mind. And I'm like, I need a fucking board. And I'm like, and on that board, I need folders and I need flowcharts and I need to be able to fucking zoom out and look at this thing and look down on it. And so anyhow, so I just went to town. I grabbed this. I looked at all this different software and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm sure we pay that much for subscriptions. I'm sure we've got something where I can use it.
Yeah.
But built this map. And then when I took her through the vision, I'm like, I'm going to show you, like I'm going to show you, right?
Yeah.
And then she was chomping at the bit to go, okay, so I see your vision and your goals. I want to show you something, how we break that down. And I'm just like,
nice.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So, bro, that's like, and so mission, man, is literally, it's on my radar at the moment. Mission and the steps and like sort of what you're saying resonated with me a little bit. So
that's cool. That's cool. Because I reckon like it would be really, that's so sick. I literally I was on that journey with you, man. Like I'm playing around with this Miro. It's another piece of software.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's just like an infinite whiteboard. So you just zoom out and just put shit on it, and so it's free for like $5. I don't know. Sounds like I'm a bloody sponsor, doesn't it?
Right. Hey,
no. But
I'll check that.
Yeah, you should check it out. Yours sounds more.
This one. Like, there was one, bro. Something mindset, and it was brilliant. It sort of they. Like you can go and you can create these flow charts and you can put everything down, but then like literally at the click of a button, you can organize it differently and in just different formats. Sick. So it is built for a business map. Something mindset. I'll find it out. But but anyhow, so the one I've got, it's very manual and practical. But for now, like and so like I've even fucking like I've broken out like for Bleo, I've got Bleo, I've got the vision, the mission, and then I drop down into like the divisions, and then the 2 divisions. We've got the service offerings, products, and then folders, flow charts, org chart, like, and
so sick.
Bro, it's so good. I'm just like, That is what I fucking need.
And I bet you could break that down to what you do on a daily basis to some degree, right?
To a degree, yeah, 100%.
But I'd be interested to see if everyone else could.
Yeah, I can explain it so much easier having that.
Yes.
Because I can, to me, that's what it looks like from like a. I remember when I used to do like marketing proposals.
Yeah.
I felt it was always important. Like you take them through a page and they read all this shit, take them through that page, read all this shit, this page, that page. I felt it was always good, bro, at the end, like to give them this top-down summary, but a visual flow of like, we're going to do this and that's going to go there in those locations on those platforms and this and that. We're going to use this, but and like, and literally that's the page everyone would just fucking sit on.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I needed to do for the company.
Yeah.
And I'll show you one day, man.
I'd love that.
And it's just this work in progress now that I just keep coming back to. So
it's a cool way.
But mission, bro, I do want to I do want to get into that because at the moment, like it's just a statement that I've sort of just tacked on. I find these things too, like when you start your business, probably not now, but however many years ago, you start and it's like, oh, you should have a vision statement, you should have a mission statement. You're like, okay, fuck, well, what do these companies have? Yeah, all right, I'll take a bit of that, do that. And then it's like, cool. And what is that, right? So I feel like I know what that is for vision now for me. Vision for me is the thing that I fucking am excited about, that I can share with my team and get them excited about. So mission statement for you, it is tell me what that is again for you.
So for me, it's not for me, I guess, is the first thing that I would say, for that. Yep. Because again, being a visionary,
you don't need it.
I don't need it. Like I really don't. Like I don't. And I guess this has been the journey of recognition that I've gone through, right? Like I've gone through when the business is small and you're around everyone, people will feed off you in the vision that you're exuding.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and because you're there and you're seeing everything, you're like, oh, like that's epic. Thank you so much. That's going to lead to this. And, and so they get to see through your eyes because you're there telling them almost like, fuck, that's sick. Like that's going to help with this. And, oh man, that's going to pull together. And, so they're, able to see what they're doing and how that's impacting on the vision, right? Even if the vision's 10 years out, because you've pictured it all, because that's who you are, you can make sense of that and draw them in, right? And that's why, like, my opinion would be, like, when we do interviews and stuff, it's all about the vision too, because that's what draws people in. That's the why. That's why you kind of exist. What I've recognized is that without that person next to you, which happens as you grow and scale, that vision attracts you, right? It's why you join an organization. But unless someone's there exuding it, it's hard to connect the dots for some of these people. Right. Like, and that's fine. Because if you had a team of visionaries, man, nothing would ever get done, right? Like everyone would be fucking
probably be a fucking hot mess, man.
Right?
If you had more of me in here.
Straight up, And so, for me, it was this recognition of like, and again, it might be a little different in your industry because you have a bunch of creatives, right? Like by definition, you've got a lot of creative people, so they're able to potentially see the abstract more. Whereas maybe not.
No. I probably can't talk too much to it, bro, because
cool.
I've been in it. Like, I don't really know what to compare it to. Yeah. Sort of IT people or something like that. Because we do a whole deep dive on all our team members and the characteristics and all this crazy shit out, and because we want to put the right people in the right places to succeed. Yeah. And principles in you.
Yeah, principles us, man. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but it's like the company version. So it's like principles. Yeah. Hats off to the
our boy Ray Dalio.
Exactly.
Shout out.
What a man. Yeah. Hope you're watching this. No.
That's right.
No. But so that and we've built our own like things off that. Yeah. Where we're like we've gone and assessed all the different kind of characteristics, and I've done this with a performance psychologist where we've like got deep into it, and we've actually talked to the guys over in the States who built the system.
Wow.
It was really cool, man. Okay. And from that, like, yeah, we've built out pathways and all kinds of crazy shit. And, so we look at it like one of the locations and we're like, these are the different characteristics made up of this stuff that is tested on that software.
Yep.
And what's the best makeup for this type of team. But coming back to the comment that I made earlier about the creative concept is, some people are very practical in the way that they think. They're not contextual or creative in their mindset. They're like more about the attention to detail or even just the practical application. They're the same kind of people that, like, when you start to talk about how you're going to achieve this vision and you're putting all the places together, they're like, yeah, but what are we doing? Like what exactly are we fucking doing, to make that happen? Like, you're talking at this thing and it's cool and I get it, but like, what do I do to make that happen?
Yeah.
They're the kind of people I feel like the mission is written for.
Right.
And so for me, to answer your question around like, what is the mission? It's again, because they're not contextual thinkers, they're more short-term thinkers, right?
Yep.
So it's like, you can almost say like long versus short-term thinkers.
Yep.
They need something to connect to the day, and how that will, when I piece all the days together, lead to something that is a lot more, I guess, tangible, right? Yeah. So it's like, to give you an example, the question I mentioned earlier that this was asked of me, this whole recognition came from a gentleman called Tim Bishop on Mission Group, and company I've been playing around with, and the great staff. Doing a lot of shout outs, aren't you? But he, he's military background, right? And he was talking about, and it was such a fantastic analogy, right? So if you're in war, you want to win the war. That's the vision. Yeah, you want freedom from whatever it is the opposing force is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you went to the military in a regiment and you said, "Hey, we want freedom and we want to win this war," go ahead and do it.
That's great.
They'd be like, I'm a fucking gunner sergeant. What the fuck do you want me to do? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Whereas if you say, okay, today's mission is we're going to go to that village.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through this terrain.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be contact there.
Yeah.
We're going to combat that combat via these strategies.
Yeah.
Call in XYZ. Once that mission's over, we're going to head over to this mission.
Yeah.
And when you piece all these missions together, that's going to put us in this spot that will deliver freedom and win the war.
Yeah. That's a great analogy, man. Love that.
So that to me is a mission.
It's like, fundamentally, it's like you break that down into steps, and the mission is just the overarching flag that's flying over all of that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah, bro. Love that.
Because you're right. Otherwise, like the vision, mission, then you get the values, and they just become shit on the wall that no one looks at and no one really cares about.
Yeah.
That's not what these things have been built for, and that's not what has made the incredible successful company successful. It's the purpose behind the words. That deliver.
Yeah.
So it's got to be relatable for everyone.
Yeah. How valuable do you think partnerships are?
External or internal?
Well, okay, let's go internal.
Or like not business at all.
What do you mean by internal partnership?
I guess the question.
I'm talking about business. Did I say in business?
You didn't, but I assumed.
Yes.
I meant no. That's all good. I meant I guess like you've got external partnerships with like external companies, or you could have internal partnerships with, as in like the structure of your business could be a partnership.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll give you more
clarity.
Context. Yeah. No, I think, where I was thinking with that, like knowing the work with principles in you, or like breaking down the different character traits and whatnot, personality types. Like when you're starting out business owner, you're wearing like multiple hats. Do you think that with an internal partnership, do you think it's an important thing to have in a business, I guess?
All right, I'm going to take this contextually. not as in like a formal structure of a business partnership.
Yeah. That's probably the terminology is
like sole trader company, like partnership. Like I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking more along the lines of like other people that you can rely on.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the train of thought you're going with?
Yeah. So say that, like, let's just say, for example, like you identify that you've got weaknesses.
Yeah,
you can't do it all.
Yeah.
So how do you, I guess, identify those people, and how important do you think it is to have those people in part of that mission?
Oh, it's everything, mate. Like, now I understand exactly what you're talking. It's everything.
Yeah.
So I think, so we have a practice in all the organizations that I'm involved in that it's a bit colloquial, I guess, but figuring out your genius mode.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's really interesting how many people don't know what that is.
Yes.
And
where did you learn that? Where'd that come from?
That is such a great question. I believe it may have been from a structured mentorship group that I did very early on in the days, but I can't even give credit there because I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
I tend to do this thing where I listen and gain a lot of information. I'm forever the student. Will always be the student.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes I'll get a whole bunch of different information, and sometimes I'll just mold it all together and make something of my own.
Yep.
Other times I'll just go, oh, I love that. I'll never forget that. I'm going to use that. And so sometimes I lose track of where things have come from, and where. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100% I do. Yeah.
The concept, I think, comes across in many different ways. It's just, I guess, a name, right? But the element is, for me, it's about understanding what you're good at and what you like doing, and then understanding what you don't like doing and aren't good at, and then dissecting those quadrants down further and going, okay, out of the things that I don't like doing, how much of them do I not like doing because I'm not good at them?
Right.
And out of those groups of whatever it is, what of them do I want to improve on? So it's a great place for you to kind of look for growth opportunities, and kind of dissecting that down and going, okay, this is something that like I really want to get better at. So I'm going to put that on and I'm going to underline it. I'm going to make a mark on that and be like, when I'm looking for personal growth and, I've got to the end of a journey of one of the things I've been working on, or at least to a satisfactory level, I'm ready to move on to something different. I'm going to come back to this list and I'm going to pick something else. And then you'll get a list of things that you're like, I'm not good at it and I really don't give a shit. Yeah. And I actually don't want to get good at it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. And sometimes you find that when you're honest with yourself, some of those things in that category, or even the things that you don't like doing, so you're not good at it and you don't like doing the two different categories, there's things that are necessities. Yeah. And for a business, a partnership, whatever it is, like a community, it doesn't matter, right? And when I find those things, I make it my mission and my goal, personal mission, I guess, to find someone who enjoys that. Yep. Or is good at it, so I don't have to ever do it again. Yep. So you can call it strategic, but there's an element of it that's just like I'm just like lazy. I'm not interested in doing shit that I'm like. If I'm not interested in it and I know it's a necessity, I'm gonna go find someone who's good at it and likes doing it, so that like I can be like, like I'm such a good human. I'm gonna give you this opportunity to do it. But you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where I think key long-lasting partnerships lie, right? Where it's kind of like that concept of opposites attract. Yes. I think there's an element of truth to that, as long as there's a compatibility of mindset, an alignment of direction.
Because in most cases, they're the opposite to you, and what they hate and aren't good at, you are. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's where and that's where partnerships can be very powerful. Yeah. But as long as that last kind of, I guess, pocket of what I just said works, right? Like, because oftentimes when you have different people who prioritize or think different things are important, because they would probably look at some of the stuff that, you and I would do as whimsical and, fluffy. Or, it's like, mate, that's fucking what drives everyone. And, but
So you got to make sure that there's still respect for those different areas,
Yep.
and there is that alignment that occurs, and that's where it almost goes as far as you say that it goes beyond even partnerships. Like sometimes there's not enough, two people is not enough people to tick off all of the necessary things, and that's where you bring a team in.
Agreed. Yeah, like I think thinking about it now, like when I use the words partnership, like even hiring like a manager, that's someone that's so close to you, it becomes your left, right hand, whatever it is. It's like you become like a partner.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
on the mission, going for like whatever that is, and like that's it's such a so like how do you identify what you aren't good at?
A lot of reflection.
Yeah.
A lot of putting ego to the side.
Yep.
At times it can be comparisons.
To
other people, other things.
Right.
Oftentimes comparisons are seen as a negative, whereas sometimes I think they can be fantastic for perspective. Yep. When you're in a small group of people or you're looking at your team, you might be like, oh, I'm fantastic at this, but it only takes a different comparison to realize that you've actually got a shitload to learn. And it's I might be good at modeling, and taking an idea and being able to map it out. But, put me up against Tony Robbins, I'd be like 1 out of 10. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think comparisons can be powerful at times. But yeah, I think reflection is key, but also depending on like I look at these things in two different options, like two different ways. Like there's opportunities and the problems. Yeah, and sometimes the business, it depends on where you are at your journey, right? Like if you're at inception, you don't necessarily have blaring problems because they haven't surfaced yet, because you haven't had a crack at it, right?
Yep.
So the answer would be very different in the inception of a business as it would be when a business is already up and going.
Yep.
If a business is already up and going, problems will arise where strengths or things that are needed, no one with a strength is working on, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So numbers can be fantastic, but again, I could speak for days on metrics and numbers and how people have no idea what they're doing with them, even when they think they do.
Yep.
So yeah, and then there's opportunities, and that's where I think people in this space become like, you look at some people and they're brilliant, like you'd be like, wow, how did you see that? Like, where the fuck did that come from? And you're like, and it's just they're like, the people just are gifted in their ability to foresee situations and scenarios, and then they go, well, I can see the problem, but I can't be the solution. Like I can't be the person that solves that issue. So I think reflections is important, and doing those little tasks like that. I did it with my team the other day, and we all of them have been through the Genius Mode 100 times over, and I said, like, let's sit down and let's go through our Genius Mode. Like, I want you to write 2 things in each of these categories. And they were like, and I'm like, wow, cool guys. Like,
so this was right, what you're good at, what you love doing.
Yep.
What you're not good at, what you don't like doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's very basic.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you go ahead and you can pick up that pen and you go to write,
in context of their work activities,
you can play the context where anything in life, right?
Okay, like, so you keep it open for in that exercise. You kept it open.
Exercise, I didn't. I kept it. I narrowed it down to your role in this work environment. But I guess what I was meaning there is that you can apply the same thing anywhere.
Exercise.
Like I could do the same thing as my role as a father. I could do it as my role as a husband. You know what I mean?
Bro, you've always I feel like you just have this shit just mapped out so logically. It's like it's either that or fucking that. And if it's not that, then that goes to there. And if it's not that, it's that. That's true, eh?
Yeah. You can see my brain work.
I've seen you like opportunities, problems, like the process or it's people. It's like,
that's hilarious.
It's cool, man.
Maybe.
Have you always been like that?
Oh, great. Oh, man. Wow.
Is that a pretty clear distinction of what you do?
Like, yeah, it's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's
0 or 1, yes or no. It's fucking like it's
really
black or white.
I like making grey, black or white.
Yeah.
So the reason I like doing that is I learn a lot.
Yep.
And I absolutely love learning. So when something's grey, to me, it's unknown, which is incredibly attractive. Because my curiosity gets the best of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, why is this unknown? And oftentimes it leads to a problem worth solving.
Yep.
And so I get attracted to it. So I want to find out, the black and the white.
Yep.
And make that grey black and white. It's really interesting. It's a really, really weird analogy, and I don't even know why this came up in my head right now, but it did. So we're going to go there. I had Easter, right, with my family, and one of my nephews got this like really weird gimmicky little like magnifying glass thing, as kids get, And the family played around with it thinking it was broken, and like I grabbed it and I figured it out, and that was also part of the fun. But I'm going to sound like probably really stupid right now, but like I was using it on like a picture, like a printed picture, and as I used the magnifying glass, it was the first time I actually realized that literally what you're looking at from a printed piece of paper is just a whole bunch of one colored dot.
Right.
And the reason I bring this up in this context is like, we'll see a picture, but a picture is just a makeup of all individual colors of dots.
Pixels, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize. I this call me stupid because I feel it right now because I'm like the fucking printer only has 3 colors that you insert in it, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, they mix together and create the color, right?
Yeah.
No, they literally just do a series of dots, and the amount of dots and the combination of dots in a certain area will make the color that you see. And that's how I guess kind of almost probably look at the world.
Right.
When you talk about that gray, it's like gray is not gray. It's black and white, just a different combination of it. And I want to keep zooming in and keep figuring out and keep being curious until I figure out what the white bits are and the black bits are.
And you're extremely driven to do that, eh?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
You get to learn.
Yeah. Does it drive your wife mad?
Yeah. It drives everyone mad, mate, I reckon. It drives everyone. I reckon, yeah.
Nah, that's good. I love that about you, man.
Thank you.
Nah, it's cool,
It's got
bro.
to be one person that does it.
Bro, because you want the answer, right? And even if it's wrong or right, it's like, let's just do it. Like, let's just like either fail, learn, move forward, what's next? Or like, let's just get on with it and get there. Yeah.
It's science. A lot of people get science wrong. They think that science is about proving things right. It's actually about proving things wrong until you can't prove it wrong anymore.
Yep.
That's what science is. So when you talk to a true scientist, and it's the same when people talk to me about research, like, and they're like, oh, this new thing came out in research. I'm like, that's cool, man. What was it? And they tell me, I'm like, wow, like, why? Like, how did that come up? Like, what is the reason for that? And they're like, I don't know. This is fucking what the research says. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so I got to go talk to the person who did the research to find the real answer.
Right.
Because people just look at the result, They just look at the abstract and look at the answer. I'm like, no. What was the method and what was the person thinking to come up with that method? Like that's the crazy stupidness in me. But like that's because that excites me.
Yeah.
Because that to me takes knowledge to understanding.
Yeah.
And when you have an understanding of something, then you can master it.
And you can see how people think. Like that, like their rationale and like thinking about it from a leader or manager point of view. It's just like it's. I was probably just thinking about that in context of your team. It's just like tell me how you got there, and then it's just like, okay, I see we did that. Oh, really? Fuck. Okay. And or you sort of like, oh, maybe then we need to put that process in and help people think and see why we're doing it like that. And yeah, you
get it, man. A lot of people don't get it. Like you get it really, like you get it. When you're in this space, in this leadership, it's not about what they come up with, it's how they come up with it.
And why.
Right?
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, could I have, I see why you did that. Fuck, that's my bad. Like, you're out there. No. Let's do this. If I put this in here, what would you think? And it's like, I would think that. Great.
I'm going to put that back in there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, awesome, bro. Yeah. Oh man, don't worry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
me and one of my mates are in here, bro. We just covered some shit.
It's fun though, yeah?
It's so fun, bro.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Fungal Church?
No, I have not. Tell me about Fungal Church. I'm keen.
Bro, so my mate Denham, shout out Denham. He comes and co-hosts this with me sometimes.
Oh, sick.
He's one of my bros from Dubbo.
Yeah.
And he tells me about Fungal Church. And essentially what it is like there's the whole science trip, right? Like there's all this so much cool information and shit out there today. You probably blows your mind too, right? Does mine. I can listen to it forever.
Yes.
And so anyhow, what they do is like they plug like these little nodes or whatever you want to call it into these types of speakers, into mushrooms, into different types of fungi, right? And they'll put it on here and they'll put it on here, and then it creates this resonance, and this sound comes out of the fucking mushrooms, bro.
Bullshit.
No, bro, I was exactly the same.
What?
And I fucking and then I was just like, hang on, I got to fucking look this shit up. And anyhow, this was
It's legit?
don't know if it's legit, right?
Right.
But it's a thing.
Yeah. It's there.
Let me see if I can find this one.
Isn't it interesting? Sorry, man. I just want to pick something up that you said before. When we were talking, you were talking about the science thing. You're like, I could listen to this shit forever.
Ah, yeah.
I'm the same.
You listen?
I can't read. Like I can read, but I'm so slow. I put myself to sleep, so I listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably
It's just
listen while you're multitasking, doing something else.
I try not to. I try. Well, I do, but it's always something that I don't need to focus on because I really try and focus on what I'm listening to. So it's like, going for a walk or in the gym or driving. I should be focused on driving, but I don't.
But you don't think driving's the best time to listen to shit?
I think it is. I mean, that's what I do, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm saying I'm not focusing on driving then. And that's probably dangerous. I don't know. Someone's like, don't stay away from me when I'm driving. But 100% it's the first time, I think. Anyway.
I'm into it. Like, I find it hard now to listen to music when I train.
100%.
You too?
Yeah, I don't listen to music really.
Oh, but like I'm almost...
Which is
like,
sad
I
sometimes.
sort of feel like I want the energy, the lift and the boost.
Yeah.
But like I'm just like, I just want to listen to some fucking physicist tell me about space and I'm fucking just pumped.
How strange is it, man? I'm glad you're saying that, because I thought I was a fucking weirdo. But
Bro, I got to show you this because like when Denham brought this up, I'm like, fuck off. Like, and then I'm going to put this up here.
Yeah. No. That's coming out of the mushroom.
I don't know, bro.
Come on.
No, it's the same, but...
Holy shit, man.
Anyhow.
That is outrageous.
Yeah, so Fungal Church, man. And so anyhow, that's a trip.
That is a trip.
We're going to make this clip just blow up.
Yeah, I was about to say, man. Yeah. Talk about shout outs.
Anyhow, so like the most random shit, mate. Fuck, we've talked about it, man. But
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, man.
It's interesting. Sorry, really quickly about the music stuff. Yeah, I was watching the podcast with you and man, I'm so sorry to your brother, the one that you had on here, the dancer.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, B-boy.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was a really
mad
good
dude, man.
Yeah, it was wicked. It was really cool. It brought music. I started listening to music a bit more, but interestingly enough, I got back into it in the household.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You know how he was talking about like how they sing and dance. I was like, man, I'm not singing because my kid will hate me. But just having that. So that's my place of music now. Not because all the other places I've been taken up by podcasts and the rest of it. So
yeah, man.
Because I was missing it.
You never used to play music at home like that?
Oh, like I did, but it went cold for a while. So I used to dance a little bit.
Still doing that?
Nah, Saturday. I'll get back to it at some point because it's good fun. I really, really enjoyed it. But I think, I just come up with excuses, but the craziness of life kind of got in the way of us playing the music, I guess. That got me back into kind of putting it on every now and then.
Yeah, he'll love that.
Yeah,
he'll love that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really good.
Yeah, man. No, I'm the same. I need to have music on. Like, I think growing up, my old man would always have music on.
Yeah.
And even now, like, I just love, like, when I come home, I'll just put it on.
That's cool.
And to suit the mood, obviously, right? Like, if we're doing dinner or something, like, even, I know Leonie, she's like a fanatical, like, piano player, right? So she loves...
Really?
Well... young, and then
Wow.
she bought a piano sort of when we got together, and now sporadically plays it and stuff. But
Dude,
I
that's
know
cool.
she enjoys it, so I'll put like covers on and just let that play, like piano covers.
Oh, man.
It's just nice. But then if I'm like up and I'm just like ripping into like a mad game of handball with Chloe or something, just fucking with something a little bit more hardcore. But yeah, bro. Yeah, no, it's music, man. It's everything. Eh?
Cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Expression.
Yeah. So what was the dancing, man, that you did again?
Modern Jive
right.
was the main part. Did a little bit of West Coast Swing, but only like a really, really tiny bit.
Why'd you stop? You just got busy and just
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, I bit off more than I chased growth in the businesses and ended up like, priorities, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
It is. I'll get back there one day. I'm one of these people too that like. It's not something I'm proud of, but I have this kind of like this switch, you know, where like it's either really social and therefore it's low on the priority list and I keep it there, or it switches and becomes high priority and then like I want to give it my everything.
Yep.
And I didn't have time to give it my everything.
Yeah.
And therefore it was staying in that social space, which was cool. I really loved it and it was great there, but because it's there, it's not at the priority of other things, and so it got pushed off the list.
So jump over to like health and fitness.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you train?
I do.
Yeah.
Not as much as I'd like, but I do.
So what every day?
Nope.
No.
I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm on camera.
No.
No, not as much as I'd like.
So how often do you train?
At the moment, I would say only 2 to 3 times a week.
When I say train, I mean like that could be. I guess where I'm going with it is probably more a mental thing. Like, too, right? Like being in business.
Yeah.
Like the mental benefits exercising brings. So while you're on this like epic journey, which it's not just all beautiful and rainbows. So like, is exercise important to you on that journey that you're on?
Yeah, like absolutely. Absolutely. It's part of, I guess, it's one of the companies I run, right?
Yep.
Like, so it is and has to be important to me for that. But if I go back to like me growing up, and this kind of relates to, I guess, everything, even all the conversations that we've had already, it's all been about human, right? Like the way we think, the way we apply, the way we express, like all it, like, so what infatuates me more than anything is the human body and mind. And so everything that I love to learn about relates to that in some way, shape, or form. Even business, like you know, when you real boil business down, it's about human interaction.
Yeah.
And you know, like the purchasing of a product is about a human purchasing a product. So it's like, what does humans like? You know, and let's put that in a package so that they'll buy it. If it's a service, it's about how does one human deliver value to another human, right? Like, so bring that back to exercise. You know, we as a human are built to move. You know, like like one of the biggest issues with our health is we as an organism are not built for the world in which we live in anymore. Technology and basically the thing between our two ears has progressed and evolved way faster than the rest of what makes us. And so therefore, exercise becomes a really important aspect of what we do. So I see exercise in a really interesting way. So I see exercise almost as a substitution for a lack of physical activity.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me unpack that. So physical activity is like literally you moving. Yeah. It's the expenditure of energy to make your limbs move in space. Now, prior to technology like booms and, you know, even probably in the Industrial Revolution and all this kind of stuff, right? We were hunter gatherers.
Yes.
So innately to survive, we had to move
Yep.
a lot. There's an argument to say the reason why humans physiologically became powerful on this planet was because of our ability to, like the fact that we're bipedal, so on two legs, and we could go for long distances.
Right.
So, if you think to hunting, like a deer is way faster than us, but we can go for longer. So we just follow their tracks for as long as they can go, and then by the time they get fatigued, we haven't, and therefore we make up that distance and can slay the beast to be able to feed us and our family, right?
Yep.
So that person who's just traveled all day to slay the beast to feed their family does not need to go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking oath.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they just don't.
Yeah.
Because they've been moving all day.
Yeah.
So, but you and I who can travel distances that would otherwise have taken those people all day in 30 minutes in a car, and can go to a supermarket and pick up more food than and eat it in a day than they would probably have eaten in a week.
Yeah.
And have jobs that put us on our bottom sitting down for hours, where in those days you sat to rest.
Yep.
You didn't sit to do things. You know what I mean? Like, because sitting down to do things was, like a luxury. So exercise in my eyes is a supplement, because it's like ultimately it's an extreme bout of physical activity to exhibit and create an adaptation within your body to make it improve or in some cases not decline.
Yeah.
So incredibly important.
Love that, man. No, we were vibing on that as well. I think like we brought up, like we live in the intellect now. Like we are moving and we don't live and use our bodies as they should be. Your body's made to move. You don't move it. You're violating it. And now everything is just so intellectual. Like
Absolutely.
your phone and you walk. I was walking today and I'm fucking like texting, I'm emailing, there's this coming through and I'm boom, phone call. Like, and it's just like all that stimulus in your mind.
Wild.
Like, where's that going?
Scary.
So
exciting though.
Back to
there's a positive to that. I think
there is a
excitement
positive
in
to
that.
it. There is a positive,
Yeah.
but like
not for this, but for this.
Well, like it's how do you balance it, right? So that's sort of where I was going.
Right.
It's like it's because I know how important it is for me.
Yeah.
And so it's important for you,
Yes.
obviously. So like what do you do? And like tell me about that. How do you balance it? How do you balance that health, fitness, exercise?
How should I or how do I?
Yeah. Well, because I want to talk about that then.
Yeah,
Like
cool.
I want
Let's
to
do
talk about like how you and where you go in business, and then let's talk about it. So like,
Yeah,
how do
cool.
you do it now?
Yeah. Cool. So I'll come straight out and say that not as well as I would like to do it. Blanket statement, right? So currently I am actually in a really good place in terms of trying to look after my health better, because I recognize and realize that it got neglected.
Yeah.
I was working so much on exactly what you're talking about, the thing between my ears, right? And working out strategy and how to grow people through people and all that stuff.
Do you find it gives more to that though? Like when you do exercise? Like,
yeah. As in when you do exercise, you love it and enjoy it more because of that? Or is that what you mean?
Even like the endorphins and like the release and just like where it puts you mentally to like go, fuck, I can go bigger, stronger, harder.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Yeah.
And this is where it's an interesting paradigm where I'm sitting here telling you I should do it more, and where I'd like to get it back to.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an oxymoron, right? Like, it's stupid because you know that it's going to help all of those things. It's one of those things that it's going to sound really silly, but it's like, you know, when there's that quote that really where it's like your eyes eat more than what your belly can.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I get that a lot in business.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's not like let's do it all, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And so then it puts me in a cool place where I'm like have to figure out how to get the quality and the delivery I want with less of my time and energy. So if you look at the history of my life, it often goes in waves, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they're always, they're becoming more, they get closer and closer to the line that I want to live, which is continual growth, but without the big, big peaks and like the large troughs.
Yeah.
And involved in all of that is my exercise. So I would say that I'm doing well in terms of physical activity. So my perfect day, it doesn't happen every day, but I would say that majority of my days are spent. I'd take the dog for a walk, and now I'm starting to run. I never thought I'd ever say that. I'm not a cardio guy, but like I recognize the importance of it. And funnily enough, I am getting the benefits that everyone has told you about, which is really cool, right? Like,
so you never used to run, now you're running.
Yeah, so I wouldn't, you could definitely not call me a runner. So when I say I'm running, I'm doing the walk, but I'm running, and I'm running and then walking and running and walking. But like each time I'm running more than I was the last time. So, I'm going through those processes, which is really cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm one of these people that, like even when I was playing, I grew up playing AFL, like a lot of running.
Yeah.
So I had good cardiovascular fitness, but if you didn't give me a ball, I would hate running.
Yeah.
You gave me a ball, I had something to do, so then I could go for ages. So I go for a walk with my dog and often take my son. So you can imagine the run is...
How old's your son now?
Man, he's nearly 2.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Great age.
Oh, man,
I
it's
love that age.
so sick.
Everyone says terrible twos. I fucking love that.
Right?
Yeah.
I reckon it's got to be women who say that.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know, but I loved it. I loved that 1.5 to like 3.5. Like I love all stages, but I found like that time was special, hey. But anyhow,
we can talk about that later if you want to bet. Like, So then, I do that, and then I'm trying to because I love the gym.
Yes.
I love it.
Lifting weights.
Yes, lifting. Yeah. Good clarification. Yeah, I love lifting weights. I love the feeling of it. I love the difficulty of it and pushing through that. I love the growth element. I love the instant gratification. Which is not something I tend to thrive in my life. I'm a long-term thrill seeker instead of a short-term instant gratification person. But it's one place that I do enjoy. The pump afterwards. I think you said that on one of your podcasts, and I'm like. Yeah, brother. Me too, man. So I'll try and get and do that 2 to 3 times a week. And it's interesting. Part of the thing that I'm working on at the moment is giving me more time to do that, because that is, you talk about like how that helps the head, right? Yeah. My best ideas happen in the shower, on a run, in the gym, or on holidays.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're when I give myself the time to meditate, if you will, but in the way that I do.
Yep.
And it's paramount. That's what I'm currently doing. So 2 to 3 times a week. I would to answer what I'd like to do on it would be I would love to train in the gym 5 times a week, and I would like to create a morning ritual where I am going for that run every day. And ultimately, I'm looking forward to the age where my son grows up and we can do a hobby together.
Yeah, man. It's interesting we're talking about that now. I think this was, you get these thoughts, and my time is in the morning. But I had this morning where Leonie had this gym class she wanted to go to, and our kids are sort of probably not young enough to leave at home on their own yet. Right. So I was like, no, you go, I'll stay, I'll just train at home.
How old are they again?
10 and 7.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and my country background family would be like, fuck, leave them at home at fucking 3 years old. Yeah. But I had this, what is it? Just this thought come over me this morning about how important I actually think it is now to have your kids see you train. Like to see, because they see Leonie and me go to the gym, we come back, but they see we go and do it. And I'll often take them to the bars, but like I think they copy whatever you do, right? But like I was sort of thinking, do they see you train? So like when you were talking, like I know your son's young now, but you take him and he's a part of that experience. I think I was pondering on that this morning, bro. I was thinking, that's actually, I think, a really, really important thing that my kids watch me fucking just like get into this and get into it and see like what, because I honestly think, bro, like I don't know about you, but for me, it's such an important thing for me. It is ritualistic for me.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to, bro, too. I actually think there's benefits in going all in and stopping and going all in, doing that. I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But that's where I was this morning. It's cool you're saying that now with your son, because I was thinking, fuck, like I need to make it more of their life. I don't want to inflict or force or impose like training onto them and doing something, but
You won't need to.
no, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I need to create an environment where you're a part of it. If health and fitness, I think, is super important for me and you, then I'm going to lead by example. You're going to see me more do this. And yeah, bro. So it's cool you were saying that. That's what I was vibing on that this morning.
That's so cool, bro. That's actually really cool. It's a funny, being two, my you're right. It's such a sick age, yeah. And I'm really enjoying his company, and I've got this thing as well. Like I don't know how and why I remember it, but there was a podcast I'd listened to, and I'm talking probably like 7 or 8 years ago, like a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And there is this thing that I remembered in that podcast that resonated with me, which is weird because I didn't have a child at the time. It was 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I believe it was this multi-millionaire, billionaire, even probably over in the States, who I think he owns. It's either the Rockets, the basketball team,
Right.
and he's got this whole. He made his schooling out of like restaurant chains, like different restaurants and stuff.
Yep.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a brilliant man. But one of the questions that was asked of him, which I thought was really interesting, was, one of the things that people recognize in the way you do business is you have your son in the room a lot. So this guy in boardroom meetings has his like 10-year-old son come and, just be present, in his workday. And I was like, he was like, well, yeah. And they were like, well, is it not like, and he's like, no, like this is education better than he's going to get anywhere else.
100%.
And so to be around success and hard conversations and all this kind of thing and be able to absorb and understand how this all works, it's going to be worth more to him than to anything else school will ever teach him. And it's interesting because I would actually put have insane amounts of gratitude to my parents because I grew up.
I saw that in your profile.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I grew up in the back of a fish and chip shop. So like I at the age of 12 would wake up in the morning. We lived in this, like honestly, man, you could throw a rock at it and the house would probably fall down. Like this absolute shit box.
Where was this?
It was in Clontarf in Redcliffe, in north side of Brisbane.
Yeah.
And honestly, my parents are incredible human beings, and still with us to this day, which is fantastic. Yeah. And
shout out, mum and dad.
Yeah, man. They're honestly the best. And again, like we didn't grow up with like looking back, we've never been well off, right? Like I come from very, very, very humble beginnings, but as a child and growing up, I had no idea, man. I thought we were killing it, and that's a credit to them, because they had nothing, but I felt like I had everything, and there was nothing that's like, I grew up with the idea that the world is my oyster, and I can achieve anything, and but back to the story of the working, in the guy in the boardroom and his son, like that was the experience that I got, and mate, like I can not tell you that it still impacts on my day-to-day running of the business, being able to see. Like, because my friends worked for my parents, right? So I'd hear my friends whinge about my parents, and I'd hear my parents whinge about my friends. And I'd be sitting in the middle going, well, shit, you both got points here. Like, if you just freaking spoke and understood one another, the outcome could be so much better. And so I learned and got taught, like I got taught at the age of 13, 14, and they put me through the ringer, man. Like, I got no handouts, like I had to go from the guy who would take out all the furniture and sit on the till whilst dad organised all the stuff at the cafe, fish and chip kind of back end. Dad's a chef by trade, through to like, and it was a cool story. Like dad's a big respect guy. Like it's all about respect, right? And it was really cool to grow up with that. It was amazing, a big guy, and like he's shorter than me, but man, he's a solid unit. And I just remember like, I'm this chippy guy at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you know, how you doing? Kind of thing. And you know, and these old guys would be walking in just wanting their milk and paper, and I'm like half asleep. And you know, if they didn't say hello to me, Dad would come from out the back and be like, "My son said good morning."
Wow.
And he's like, because he's like, don't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, and no, oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, good morning, Toby. Like, and it was, dude, it was sick.
Yeah.
And
at the time, you would have just been like, Dad, he's all right.
yeah, I'm like, bro, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like, you know, looking back, it's like, messages, you know,
Yeah,
all these things. And then mum, man, like she's a wizard. Like, so mum's an entrepreneurial kind of background, right? So, everything was dialed in. Like, everything was dialed in. It's like just crazy things that you and I probably wouldn't even think about, you know, like, here's I will get back to the kid thing in a moment, right? This is a wild journey here. But, like when you order something, when do you feel as if you're waiting?
When you order something, when do I feel like I'm...
So say you're at a fish and chip shop, right?
Yeah, well, after you order.
Right. When does that happen though?
After you pay.
Right.
Right.
So she worked that out. So she was like, there's 2 times where you wait. You wait to get served.
Yes.
And then after you've paid, you're waiting for your food. So how much can I cram into that time frame where you start the conversation and you pay? Because that's my bought time that you have no idea that you've been waiting for the food. So she'll be like, it was brilliant, man. Like, it was insane. Like, honestly, the way she has this stuff dialed in and is unbelievable. So like, you would go and you'd be like, hey, I'm gonna grab a hamburger and I'll grab and she'll be like, yeah, no worries. And she's got everything set up so that the hamburger patties are right there by the side of the till.
Yeah.
So the person on the till will grab the hamburger patty and she'll put it on the grill. Right. So that's already started cooking.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And then so mate, like we had like it was wild.
Cool.
So the customer service was unbelievable. So we would have like no shit, like 50 orders go out in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Like just because she had everything dialed in. So I learned all this from her, right? So I guess coming back to the kid thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, like I listened to this guy, billionaire, talk about this education that he was giving his son. I was like, wow, I got that.
Yeah.
My parents gave me that. You know, I'm so fortunate.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, money can't buy that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and then it went further than that, and so I'm like, right, and so I start thinking about like the things that you talk about. Like, so you're educating your kids on the importance of looking after themselves physically, just by them watching and being present around it, right? So it's funny, you know. One of the other businesses that I now have shares in, I got invited to invest into Temple Gym, you know, which is super cool. So it's really got to be important to me because also energy. But like it's sick, man. Like, so I'll take my son Tate with me, and we'll go to the gym. And so now he's like, we'll go to the gym. Yeah. And we're like, we're strong. Like, this is my little 2-year-old kid, right? So he's already like understands that the importance of gym and the getting strong, and you know. And so, you know, another thing I'm going to start to introduce into his life is being able to join me at work and you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that was only like just hit me this morning because I just watched Chloe. Like, I just had kettlebells and I was just in the lounge room and I'm just like, I was fucking hooking in.
Yeah.
So like, and she's just like just watching me, and I was sort of like puffing and fucking sweating and shit, and I'm just oh shit, like, you know. And then and she was just sort of like just watching me, and I was like, yeah, you never really see us train. Like, I was like, we always leave to train. But and two, man, like
that's fascinating. Yeah,
bro. And part of this whole thing, man, with like doing these podcasts and stuff, I don't know, it's only really not dawned on me, but time, right? Time as you get older, like, and have kids, and I also too think about how like finite life is, right? Like the older you get, you know, the people are people get sick, and they not just sick, but there's accidents, all that type of shit, man. Like, life is finite and it can be taken from you in an instant. And I sort of always think, I'm like, what am I leaving my kids? And not necessarily like financially, but it's really like, what do I really want them to know about me that they can take with them? And so I think like, so like the same thing on the notion that this morning, I'm like, there's that, but also too, like podcast is like that thing where like, you know, touch foot, if anything happened to me, like, you know, next week or whatever, like they'll see me interact, they'll see me talk, they'll listen to some of my beliefs, they'll learn about fucking fungus. But so like, and I'm just like, I don't know, it's just a different thing, man. I think that is a beautiful thing that kids bring. It like just creates this like radical perspective, man, that makes you step outside yourself and think, just take all of the focus off yourself. And yeah, man. So
it's a gift of value, right? You start to recognize that like that what you do is giving, like no matter what it is, like you know, it's giving a lot or it's not giving a lot, and you know what I mean, like no matter what, we can't help it. Like when we walk down, you know, so, is it the butterfly effect or whatever it is? It's like you're nothing in this world, but the effects that you have are crazy.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think kids make you recognize that more than anything else. Yeah. It's super cool, and like this is going to be a huge gift for them.
Yeah, yeah.
One to see, yeah, like you said, like everything you said, but like,
well, it's like think about it, right?
To see you,
bro, like because I was like, my father passed away. I think I was 21, right? Which is I was sort of coming into manhood, but still, bro, 21. Like you think you're a fucking man.
Oh yeah.
But you haven't had a long-term relationship. You haven't had, you know, a mortgage or a business and kids and, you know, like there's all of that sort of shit, right? So your perspective on what you need to know at that time from that person and whatever that window of time was, right? There's a different, it's just a different perspective that you get, and I would love to, that's all. Like, and I just think about it now, like think about like who was my father and what did he do, how did he interact, like all of that sort of shit. And I feel like I know it. I got a good amount of time with that, right?
Yeah.
And but I also think, fuck, maybe like who fucking knows, man? Like what happens? And I just think like, because I know people that similar situation where they probably lost their parents when they were younger or something. And yeah, man, I don't know. I just think it's a cool thing. Like, and for me, it's just important, right? To give to wisdom. That's and again, coming back to, I think, myself in business and wherever I'm going in life, like probably the first thing I always seek is wisdom. Yeah. Right. And so for them, if I can help them too, maybe they won't have that issue. Maybe they won't give a fuck. But
But do you know what? It's interesting. Like, you know, I'm very fortunate. My dad is still around, right? Like, so, you know, he's still with us, and I get to hang out with him, you know, which is super cool. But
how old's your dad?
He is, geez, I should know this, but he's like, he's far out, man. I should know this. I think he's like 62 or something.
Oh, bro, that's
yeah. No, he doesn't feel old, bro.
Yeah,
yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
Like he's like a mate, right? Like, and you know, my parents are like become my mates, right? So it's really cool. But it's interesting that like I even look at this, yeah, and even what you said, like he's alive.
Yes.
I would fucking kill to see what he was like when he was 24.
Yes.
And be in that room.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
I know you're not 24, but like your kids get to fucking see this, dude.
Oh, bro, who knows where and what it'll be? But I agree.
It doesn't matter. You've got this recorded, dude. Like that in itself. I mean, that didn't exist. I mean, they didn't have recording devices back then.
That's right.
You know, so as much as we rat shit on technology for killing the human body, like there is a lot of beautiful things that come from it. And what a gift. They get to experience who you are, not as a father. Yeah. As a mate and a host and a businessman. And like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, bro. Cheers, man. And I do, like, I want to get my brothers and my sister, and like, I want to, like, even like for the interaction, but for their kids. So like, again, there's something, because for the exact same reason, I'm just like, like imagine if we fucking had like a podcast of dad and his mates, and they're just fucking just talking about, just have, and you just can just chime in and just get a little bit of that, right? And I think it's cool, and I think it's, bro. I actually really think, traditions. We sort of touched on this before, but that's just part of knowing who you are, knowing your origins, where you come from, and feeling good about it, and being proud of it. Because sure, there's always good and bad shit to look at, right? And so I think this is just a way, it just brings probably that little bit of balance too, right? So
nice. You can't get good without bad.
That's right, man.
Imagine if there was no bad.
100%.
It would just be.
Great.
There would be no good.
That's right.
Because it would just be.
You're right, man. You're exactly right.
Yeah. That came out of nowhere.
Bang on, man. I try to like this is probably going to get deep, right? But I the same that. I was talking to one of my little cousins, and who was sort of really angry at their dad, and it sort of went down along the lines of, I tried to do my best to sort of go along those lines and give perspective on. I put it to him like this, right? I said, you've seen me with my kids, right? That's what I was saying to him about me.
Actually, really, this just sounds fucking creepy as shit, but like I actually enjoy watching you do your things with the kids online. And fucking, it's like, that's sick. It sounds creepy. Yeah,
no, man, it's all good fun.
Sorry.
No. But I'm like, so you've, and he's like, yeah. And I said, do you think, and not only just how you see me, I was like, do you think I'm a good dad? And he's like, yeah, man, I think you are. I think you're a really good dad. And I was like, imagine one day my son or whoever turned around and just told me he thought I was the worst. And I was like, because he could, like, no matter what I'm doing, I was like, I'm doing the best I can with what I know now. And it fucking might be all wrong, man. I might be doing it all wrong. And at the end of the day, though, I really can't affect how he feels about it, right? But all I'm saying to you is, like, you're looking at the bad, right? Also look at the good. And know that, fuck, man, people do the best they can with what they have. So it's, I don't know, man. I tried to, like, humble him a little bit with it. I agree 100%, man. Like, and I think it's easy to ruminate and fixate on the bad shit. So like, and again, like I know people have some really bad upbringings and all that sort of shit, right? 100%. I'm not saying that at all, but like it's it'll just do you well if you look for the good. And fuck, it might be really hard, but you sort of you've got to find it in there, eh? Like it's
There's so much to that, I think. Like like evolutionarily, like and biochemically, we're designed to look at the bad,
right?
Because that's what keeps us alive. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's
fight or flight,
right? Yeah. Like like everything is about survival, and so doing something good doesn't make you survive. Avoiding something bad makes you survive.
Yes.
Right. So naturally, like literally, by the shit inside us.
Yes.
Is designed to look at the bad, so we avoid it, so we survive, right? Which is crazy because it also doesn't serve us, serve us in the right way. But like to me, and if you look at if you focus on the bad's just going to keep fucking happening because and like I'm a painful human being to a pessimist, hey, or a realist, for those fucking inverted commas, like because I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool, like so how's that going for you? And they're like, it's fucking shit. And it's like, well, that's good, you should keep doing that then. And they're like, well, I don't want to. It's like, well, then fucking stop. Like like you've got a choice, like so I hate whingers, man. Like I can't stand them. because like it's horrible. It's actually a flaw of mine. Like I love people, but like I hate.
How did you score on the empathy score in the principles test, mate?
Oh Jesus,
Is
that's
that all
a
right?
great question. Yeah, it was in there. It was okay. It was okay. Like because I'm a very empathetic person. Like but at the same time, I like it wasn't as like I'm like I care for people a lot, man. Like that's the gig I'm in, you know, in the health space.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as health people go, I'm probably a little less than, you know, so which is what you're probably picking up why you asked that question.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm just like, you know, don't be a victim.
Yeah.
You know, like what I struggle with is when people, they always talk about the
You'd
bad.
see it heaps too, man, in your industry.
Heaps,
Yeah, in
and
Atkins.
heaps, and but you know, and that's been really cool because it helped me develop a skill to help people out of that space. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I believe, you know, any profession in the health space is 80% therapist, 20% whatever profession they are, right?
Yep,
and so, and the good ones, you know, the ones that are really good at the therapist space, you know what I mean? The ability to take someone out of, you know, we talk a lot about like symptom focused to cause focused. You know, we try and take them through that journey to actually solve the problem, not the symptom, and that. In that is taking control of the scenario, right? And as a victim, focusing on all the negatives, it's impossible.
Yes.
You know, because you're not even focusing on things that you should be. So yeah, I guess you know, for me, when we talk about this, you know, focusing on the negative or the positive and things like that, it's like, you know, it's, are you running away from something or are you running towards something? You know, and if you're running away from something, that's fine, but you're only gonna get away from it. You're never gonna succeed and progress and grow. Like you want to, like, that's why goals are important, you know, and because you need to be running to something. You've got an aspiration, you know, the vision. You know, imagine a company that just says we want to survive. Come join us.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, fuck that.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's you know, it's a really interesting one. One that sometimes I struggle with because, you know, people come to me sometimes for sympathy, and you know, I try to give them a little bit, but it's like, okay, but like, how are we going to move past
Correct.
that?
Yeah. You give empathy, but if they're indulging in it,
Yes,
it's like, fuck, I've got no time for this shit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because. I this is going to sound fucking weird, but I enjoy helping those people.
You enjoy helping the people that you hate fucking listening to whinge.
Stupid, eh?
No. So how do you help them?
Really good question. I mean, ultimately, they've got to want help.
Yeah. Yes.
So I hate listening to the ones that don't want help.
Yeah. Do you want to change? Oh, I'd love to. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, and so in a professional sense, I see everyone who rocks up in my door, through my doors, they want it to some level. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. No one's forcing them to walk through the doors, right? So anyone who walks through the doors and then tells me they don't want to be there, I'm like, well, that's bullshit because you're here.
Yeah.
And they might be like, well, my doctor made me. It was like, right, they drove you here, walked you down, put you in. Like, I didn't say your doctor. You still made that decision. So something in you, even albeit a little tiny piece, that got you here and walked you through these doors. And that's the reason I like working with them, is because it's hard.
Yeah, right.
And there's a challenge there. Yeah. So it's like I've got something to learn.
Yes.
You know, like so. So it's you know, that big, like I see, and they're the ones who need the most help.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Yeah. So the ones that are like, I'm keen as shit. Like you know, you don't need to convince me. Like, just give me the tools and I'm off and away. I'm like, cool. Like anyone can look after that person. You know, the skillful ones are the ones who help the people who are struggling.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I enjoy it. But they've got to want help. And in the professional sense, that's I guess that's the difference. You know, people in you know, personal life that they spend all their time whinging at you, you know, sometimes you just want to chill out and enjoy someone's company.
Yeah.
They're the ones that I struggle with.
Right.
Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Because you're just in there trying to like black and white there. just fucking, just fix them. Bro, what's your vision? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, Toby, I didn't come here for a fucking, yeah. But no, it's...
Yeah. So how do you like, what, and like, what's your, like we went into it before, man. Like, you know, you got a lot on your plate.
Gotcha.
You're extremely driven, and you've obviously, you've got wife and young child. Like
Another one on the way.
Another one on the way.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, bro.
Thanks,
well
bro.
done.
Yeah.
How long?
Beginning of August, man. So not too far away. I know, dude. It's wild. Yeah.
That's great.
It's
man.
very exciting. Yeah, another boy. So we're gonna do boys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna be little rat bags together.
Terrors.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of exciting.
That's gonna be so fast, man.
Yeah, it's wild. Anyway, yes.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's like fuck when you have two, you sort of think back and go, fuck, one was so easy.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
It's true, bro. It's just the routine though, right? Yeah, not that, gosh, my wife, fuck, she was amazing, man.
Yeah.
With all that shit. But
very fortunate too in that space.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah,
cool. So yeah, like what time do you have like a pretty methodical work week? Like, do you start at a certain time, you finish at a certain time? Like, how does that, tell me about that.
So for me, I try. So at the moment, I'm in a few roles that I want to get out of, right? So it's due to necessity.
That'll probably never change, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Genius mode, right? You're always ticking things off and trying to get rid of things. Yeah. But I had to jump in because of this, the reason I talked about earlier, where we needed someone in there that could help others grow, and I was struggling to articulate how to do that, and so I had to get in there and demonstrate it. And in the process of demonstrating, that helped me become clear of the skills and the application, which allowed me to make the grey black and white, to be able to then draw it up and create modules on how to teach it and all this kind of shit. Right?
Whoa. Let's fucking back up. This is this is my vibe, bro. I'm into this stuff. So hang on a minute. So you said so obviously you're trying to identify there's a problem. You're trying to duplicate yourself, empower this new leader. You didn't say empower, but
No.
Yeah.
Leaders, not an individual.
Okay, leaders.
Concept. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
And so, but you had to get in there and literally create the processes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
To lead, you had to create the processes for them to be leaders.
How? So how to be leaders. So again, my brain, black and white thinking. Process is more of a task oriented thing. So it's more the objective.
Yeah.
So you could give, like, what was happening is that we had all these processes in to managed.
Yes.
And it was they're fucking unreal, like really really good,
yes.
right? And you follow them and you can get them done and you can tick those boxes and they're done and there's no outcome. Right. So it's not what to do, it's how to do it.
Yes.
And I've been I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
The why was the mission. Yeah. So why was the mission, but so I knew why it was needed to be done. They got that, but I was really struggling to articulate like the intricacies of how to bring a team together to be able to grow as individuals and as a unit, and therefore then to be able to create, a high performing team, and therefore then leaders to be able to do it. I was struggling to articulate how to help a leader lead that way,
right?
Instead of like micromanaging processes or trying to come up with all these different fucking processes. It's like, mate, there's enough fucking processes, right?
You're just trying to fucking like yes or no everything. Fucking possible step. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So take out the human and let's just make a whole bunch of fucking robots.
Right. And was that what was happening?
Yeah, like that's what was happening, right? And it wasn't it doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work, So, and I struggled as the leader of those people to articulate what was going on. So I was like, right, I need to get in so I can see and be.
Yeah.
And then that will help me become clear on what's missing.
Yes.
And then what I do, because when I do it, I'll be like, fuck, that's how I do things differently. And it's not about replicating me, right? Because ultimately, I want to help make people better than me, right? But there was the stuff that I've been doing and have done and have learned that was missing in these other people, right? So not replicate me, but replicate my understanding, I guess. And I was struggling to articulate it. So I've had to jump in, and in the process of jumping in middle management, there is a lot more of management.
Right.
And I fucking hate that.
I fucking hate it.
I hate it, dude. Like, right? It's fucked. So
I'm just like, try to, you know me, throw incentives at the problem.
Right.
Fuck, do you want that? Or just figure it out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I had to, I don't know where this question, like what the question you asked was to become, but that's what I've done. So I jumped in.
Right.
And I've gone, okay, let me help make this work.
Yeah.
So I've started to make it work, and then I've picked up on the intricacies of how to manage.
Yes.
And started building out modules and ideas and concepts, and again started working with an external who is really good at this shit too. Like worked with people all around the world.
Right.
And that was cool. So like credit where credit's due, there was lessons and learnings, but there was also affirmation. Do you know what I mean? Like he would ask me a question, I'd be like, that's what I do. And
hang on, we'll go into that.
Cool. So the mission concept,
yes,
was off a question that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The concept then of like, being able to, I kept talking about the how, right?
Yes.
And he's like, cool, and how? And he would ask me a bunch of questions, and I can't think of the specific ones, right? But and that got me, because of what was, man, you've seen my shit. Like I've got pathways, I've got fucking everything. Like on the whiteboard, that shit, like it's sorted.
I love that too, bro.
Yeah.
Let's keep going, but we come back to that.
Yeah. But it was like, why all the things I was talking about with you earlier is essentially what I've recognized throughout this process. So it was like, why the fuck can't people see it? Yes. And this vision thing. And it was like, well, of course they fucking can't see it. Like it's not in here. So it was about how they would rock up.
Yes.
Not what they would rock up to do. It was like how they came to do it.
Yep.
And through a bunch of questions and him, being curious and helping me model out, and he had his own models, but like I was building it was helping me model what I was been thinking about all this time. And that got built out, and it will continue to be built out.
Right.
In ways of like, true values and standards and like not
pulling away from the processes a bit and just having an understanding of like having the processes as a track to run on, but just giving, as you said before, like more of that mission to go, you see why we're doing this mission? Yeah. Okay. That's the processes. Go. Is it a little bit of that? Like is it a little bit like letting go?
So there's an element, that's where I want to get to, but before I can let go, I've got to teach people how to rock up.
Okay. What do you mean how to rock up?
Yeah. So I'm going to share with you some of our values, right? Like, because it's the easiest way to explain it. Yeah. So our mission is in Atkins Self, vision to revolutionize health. Our mission is to improve health outcomes.
Yes.
Right. So it's like, okay, well, how do they rock up to do that? Well, they've got to be passionately determined and collaborative.
Great.
So you can't just rock up and improve health. You have to be passionately determined in the way that you do that.
Yeah.
So don't rock up and give me this bullshit like vanilla. Like you have to be passionate.
Yes.
About what you're doing.
Yeah. So and where does that fit in as far as, is that a value?
Yes.
That's a value.
Yes.
So your value for Atkins, one of them is?
To be passionately determined and collaborative.
Right. Is that your first value?
Yeah. There's
cool.
3.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's 3?
I've got 3 values.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's the first one.
Yeah. And so it's like collaborative, right? So it's like you can't just come here and do your own thing.
Yes.
I don't want you to do your own thing.
Yes.
I want you to do the thing that we're all doing.
Yes.
You've got to collaborate with one another. Like, you could be the best practitioner in the fucking world, but if you're not working with the rest of the team, you got to go find somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's the how.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it
so
does,
it's not a process.
No, I get it.
The next step is outcome orientated and reliable.
Say that again.
Outcome orientated
Yes.
and reliable.
Yeah.
So you can tick all the boxes all you want. I actually don't give a shit. I care about the outcome you produce. Right? So if you're doing all the right things and the client isn't getting the result that you promised them, you're not doing all the right things. Because you're not getting the outcome. We're here to get outcomes. So if you're not getting outcomes, you're not going to work here. So you've got to figure that out, right? And then it's like, so then you get the reliable piece. So then it's like, it's a little bit indicative of what I just said.
Yes.
Whereas like, you got to get the outcomes, but I also want to know how you did it. So I do care about how you did it.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to rely on it.
Yes.
So if you do it once, I want to be able to know that you can do it again and again and again and again. So I want to know that you've got a method.
Yeah. Cool, man.
So don't just come up and do something. Make sure you've got how you did it so that we can test it and be scientists.
Yeah. And did you sort of, like, so obviously this is a challenge that you've had to go in to empower your leaders. Yeah. And you've engaged, you got some help to do it. That's probably too where I was sort of going with partnerships, right? Like it's like I identify there's an issue. Fuck, I don't have the skill set. Like, one, knowing that you don't, and then like two, who do I find, and weighing up, okay, how do they help me? So then they came in, and have they given you this, like have they pulled this apart for you, like the vision, the mission, or have you always been on that vibe?
Always been on the vibe.
Yeah.
Wait on. Let's get specific. Do you mean like the separation of mission and vision?
Well,
they gave meaning to mission for me, the same way that I may have hopefully given it to you in this conversation.
Planted a seed.
Right? Yeah. Right? So I've always been a thing for vision.
Right.
Like always, like at the beginning of our conversation, it was my everything. I just got frustrated when people didn't get it. They planted the seed as to recognize and realize that some people can't get on that level and they need a fucking mission.
Right.
You know, so that was one of the big things that they've been able to provide me. The second thing that has been really good, so the reason when you talk about the skill set that was missing, that to recognize that, it was the recognition that I was struggling to get what was in here, out here.
Okay.
So it was really cool. So it wasn't like, hey, come and give it to me. Because like, as egotistical as it sounds, like, I've got it, I just can't get it out.
Yeah.
Like, and so it was like, come and help me get it out.
Yep.
So I've vetted these guys for like 9 months. So we were talking for like 9 months.
Wow.
Prior.
Yeah,
right?
cool.
Like
I like that.
Yeah. Because I got introduced to him by I went to a conference and one of the keynote speakers spoke there, and he came and hung out with it. Like, I didn't know, but he was hanging out with us afterwards and stuff like that, which was really, really cool. And then he was like, man, like, sounds like you got to talk to my buddy. Like, I'll introduce you. So he introduced me to Tim. And
what's his company? What is it called?
On Mission.
On Mission.
Yeah. Right.
Great.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And we just hit it off. Like, you know, he very similar. Like, he would be sitting here in this conversation and frothing out and being involved in exactly the conversations we're having. Like talks on that visionary level and loves the contextual stuff. Yeah. So it was cool because I could talk to him in my language and stuff like that. And, you know, he's had the pleasure of working with some pretty incredible characters around the world. So, Jesus, I'm going to forget his name. One of the most renowned psychologists of the world, quite conflicting. You would definitely know the name. This is going to kill me.
Not Gabor Mate.
No, who's another one who rubs people the right or wrong way? They either love him or hate him. He's a psychologist over in the States. You'd definitely know him. All over podcasts and all kinds of crazy shit. It'll come to me. It's sitting on the end of my phone. I'll get, anyway, like, went over and spoke to this guy and you know and the guy that was mentoring him and like all this crazy stuff. So he's really well versed and networked, and so he helped me get this out here as
Right,
well, which
right.
was really cool. So there's an element of me having to go in and do it. So I had started that process.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we were, as you said, we've been talking for 9 months, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, like let's just have a crack. Let's get in and let's get dirty on this. And yeah, it's been really cool. It's been a great journey with him, and he's been helping me to articulate and frame up, which is weird, right? Because as you said, I'm good at framing things.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting to me, man, that like I do want to at some stage. We'll get into that because I see you as such this like process, break it down, and I feel like what you're talking about is really like an extension of that, right?
Yeah.
But you felt like you missed it, and I feel like I miss it.
Yeah.
Like because yeah, even like hearing stuff in here, it's just like, yeah, but how are we gonna do that? Like Blake, that's cool. That's fucking like they're crazy big goals. Like, so how do we do that? Like, how do we start moving in that direction? That's really it. How do we start moving? Like, how do we know we're going towards that?
Yeah.
And so that's what you're talking about. That's what you're pulling apart.
That's it. Yeah. So it's you know, I think you know, there's an element. There's a really cool, like they've been working on this stuff for a long time, right? And so it's been pretty cool. So, but there's an external person, you know, coming in is also really helpful, right? Like because as you said, it's, you know, sometimes it's not about like not knowing. It's about not being able to, like, again, why I keep saying it, is like not being able to articulate it. You know, and it's interesting because the more I've been able to work with him, he said to me, man, he's like, you're going to work this shit out on your own.
Yeah.
Like you don't need us, like at all.
Yeah.
But the idea of this is it will just shortcut your time. So I just you know, the 2-year journey that you'll go on, like let's just make it 6 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, yeah, let's do it. You know, like the fucking oath, let's go. No brainer. Right?
Yeah.
And you know, I've had a really good experience so far. Like
that's
you know,
great
in that, which is really cool. You know?
Yeah. That's probably more what I meant, like with partnerships.
That makes sense.
like
Yeah.
I think, it's like what would you call that then? A consultant?
Yeah, I mean, like it's funny, like because that's what he is, but he hates that. He's like, don't call me a consultant, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I call you? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, coach. He's like, don't call me a coach. So it's a hard, you know, it's an interesting thing.
That's important, man. Like and this communication, right, as a leader with your team, it's something, and how the power of words, and not just like with your team, but obviously too with yourself. Like I know with Bleo, it was always like, because I felt like we were pushing and pioneering sort of 2 industries and combining them together.
For sure.
It was always this, and I noticed it. I never used to notice how I would answer someone when they said, "Oh, so what's Bleo?" Like, what do I say? Like, what rolls off my tongue where they get it and they fucking go, "Oh, right, I get it." And I watched, I think, like a staff member at the time just go, "Oh, well, you know, sort of, so we do this and we also do that, and we know we do video, but there's like photos, but we also do that." And I was just like, holy fucking shit. Like, I was just like, right, okay, cool. So then it's like we had to almost create a word, not or coin or take ownership over a word. We grabbed
that word?
Multimedia was ours,
Nice.
which we felt like, right, it's still a pretty broad term, but it's a word that we go with a multimedia company. And then it's like, what is that? And then you go into the next, right? And so I felt that was like little things like that, man. They're just fucking so important. And that's interesting. Same with this guy, with Tim, is it? Yeah. Doesn't like consultant. And I think I was saying like partner.
Yeah.
I sort of call it partner.
So he would probably love that.
Yeah.
He would actually love that.
Yeah.
So, you know, because again, the ideologies of a consultant is someone who comes in and is all empowering and do this, do that, you know what I mean? And you know, and that's something like, that's not the vibe. That's not, you know, the stuff that they do.
Is it though? See, that's the thing too, right? Like,
as in, is that what a consultant?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what is it? What does it mean? Like, it's again, like the power of words, and what does that mean? Like, to me, consultant doesn't have a bad ring to me
at all.
It's interesting.
And the reason it does for him is because he was a consultant,
right?
And he hated it. He's like, I made fantastic money. He was working with one of the big fours or whatever, and he was doing some shit with them. And he's like, but mate, it was fucking crap. Like, it was robbery. Like, it was just put in this process, and it was shit, and it didn't work, and it missed all of the shit that was important. And so in his perception is that's what a consultant is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I don't have any problems with him calling himself a consultant, and like, I don't see it as a negative, but by his perception it is. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't, yeah. So yeah, but it's cool, man. It's a fantastic process, and I guess to come back to it, like, what I am doing in my exploration of being in there and doing it is it's cool because it's multi-layered, right? It's showcasing to the team getting led. This is what good leadership looks like, and this is how you grow.
Yes.
It also shows those who are aspiring to be leaders, oh shit, it's not about dictatorship or getting tasks done. It's about delivering on our mission and how that, and that's how I've always led, right? Like, that's how, and so doing that has been really powerful. And then, but now it's about, okay, like, getting out again, and making sure, like, making sure that when you leave, it all continues along the same way. So it's like you, like, at the moment, I'm training the people to know how to be led. I'm training those who want to lead how to lead.
Yes.
So that, it's got the best chance of success, when that gets married up. Because I think oftentimes what happens is, people go in as managers wanting to lead, but not knowing necessarily how. And then when shit doesn't go right, they fall back to management. Because it's almost like this trust, and trust comes up a lot as the organization grows, I reckon. Like,
between who?
Like, why do you do that? Why do you micromanage them? Why do you stay on top of things so heavily? Why do you do daily checks on people? Well, I just don't trust that they'll get it done. Don't trust that they'll get it done. So it's this element of trust, and so what they then do is they take over.
Yes.
Right. And that's what leads to this market, because they're like, well, if I don't, we get shit outcomes. It's like, okay, but like, you have to invest. Anything good in life, you have to invest in your asset. You can't just expect it to be a fucking mansion the day you buy it, right? So and it's that misconception, because everyone wants instant gratification. They want, I want to be fucking good right now. Like, and
Well, I've learnt so much off you, bro, in the time we've spent together. Hearing you speak now, man, like, I can see the your fingerprints through my mind. But it's really good, man. It honestly is really good. Like, the shit you're talking about now, man, it just resonates with so many different activities and things that are just in front of me. And yeah, bro,
that's really cool.
It's so good, bro.
Same in reverse, man. It's really interesting. I made, like, one thing I wanted to make sure that I gave you a lot of kudos for, and like, there's heaps of different stuff and epic conversations. I always love chatting with you. But I came, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember it vividly. Like, I came to you probably about, it would be about, and it was when we went up to Mob, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if this has come back to you now, but I asked you the question, and I said, is it possible to be a good father?
Oh, yeah.
Husband,
and
a business owner all at the one time?
Right.
And you were like, yeah. And I was like, I think that's a really fucking honest answer, because everything I've seen is you've got it fucking nailed. Like, that's what, from an outsider looking in, that's what it looked like, right? And that gave me a lot of hope, because at the time I was really struggling.
Right.
Business-wise, everything was okay, but like, home, I wasn't fulfilling the expectations I had of myself, in my role as a father and also a husband. And that's where, when you asked me this, even in this conversation, where you're like, well, how do you reflect, how do you judge yourself, and I, like, or know that there's spaces for room for improvement? And I said, one of the things that you compare, and so it was cool, because I had a lot of the other people I would compare to, wouldn't be delivering on those three aspects of their life, right? Like they were really good businessmen and not good husbands and things. And then it wasn't until they became successful that they tried to make up for that. And I was like, I don't want to be that, but like I'm trying to find someone to give me hope that it's possible. And you gave me that hope, which
thanks.
I mean that, man. And it's rubbed off me a lot, and I think it helped me a lot.
Cool, bro.
So I really appreciate that.
All good, brother.
Yeah.
I do remember that conversation, man. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, and bro, man, it's fucking hard, man.
Yeah.
Like in talking about choice of words before, right? You shouldn't use that word. You should use challenge. But it is fucking hard. Like and like, and I do remember where that conversation went. I also think too, like it was like a generational thing too, right?
Yes.
Like, because I think you said something like, everyone I see that's fucking minted or, super successful, it's just like there's something missing, and call it, happy marriage and good relationship with their children. But I feel like too, and I think, did I say something like, I feel like our generation, man, and I don't know, like, I just feel like we're different. We're more connected, I think.
You did talk about this, yeah.
Did I? I don't know, yeah. I do remember that conversation, bro.
Yeah. It was empowering for me, man. It was really cool.
Bro, awesome, man. I'm that's thank you, bro.
Nah, pleasure. It's cool.
You was gonna say something, you just fucked me up.
Sorry.
No. Where was I gonna bro, but that's what I was going to say. Like, so 2 years ago, so your son would have been 1. That's a.
Well, yeah. It was less than 1, but yeah, it probably would have been. I don't know if it wouldn't have been 2 years ago, but it would, like, in between that 2 and 1 year ago.
There's a time there, bro. I think too, like, especially in your first child.
Yeah.
It's new. It's fucking chaos, man.
You don't know what to do.
No, and usually, bro, your wife, man, like your queen, she's so tired, and hormones are out of control, and there's just. And you got this screaming baby that probably doesn't sleep. She doesn't sleep and gives it to you, and that's a full on time, man. Like, and I think the first one too is probably the hardest hitting. That time, it would probably, I think for anyone, right? It's, I don't know. Maybe some people just fucking do it.
Get it? Yeah. Good on them.
But yeah, man. No, that's cool, bro.
No, it was awesome, man. And I want to make sure I thank you for
Thanks,
that.
brother.
Yeah, because genuinely, because it was in a moment where, I needed it.
Yeah.
And I got it, and it was epic, and that was all I needed.
Cool.
And it was perfect.
Yeah, bro.
I'm thinking that I'm going to be more prepared for the second time around, and I'm sure things will be tough again. And
it's not that. It's not.
But it's different.
It is.
It'll be a different tough, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I feel like I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but especially with us, like I felt like we just had our shit locked down. Like it was, you have your routine. You just know what to expect. And yeah, no, it was. It's cool, bro. You'll be sweet. Like, that's gonna be like that's gonna come around so fast, man.
Tell me, I don't want to hear it yet. I'm not ready. No, it'll be right. But yeah, it will be coming around fast. And it was pretty tough for me last year too, man. Like it was a pretty tough time. Like it is crazy, dude. Like I got hit with a legal case on 2 days before my son was born. That came out of nowhere. I had no idea. So, like I went from, and like just shit hit the fan in multiple of the companies, and it was horrible. Like it was a really tough time. And so again, it was one of those scenarios where, I'm fortunate enough to have an amazing wife who's very strong, and she doesn't need me. She wants me.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So, like that meant that, I could do what I needed to do for the other babies, I guess, not human babies, but like business babies, I guess, and go save those things, which I did, which was good. But
how do you, when shit's just like that scenario, what's just one key thing that
prioritize
and prioritize what?
Everything. I don't know how else to explain it. So I guess for me, I'm like, all right, well, what's what's all the problems?
Yep.
You know, so I lay it all out in my brain, like I do it all mentally. It's like, what's all the situations? Okay, what needs me and what can I palm
You write
off?
this shit down?
Nope.
Or, no, you're just in your mind.
Stupidly, it's just in my brain.
Yep.
The product I write down, like the end of this process,
Yes.
I write down because I'm either asking someone to do something or I'm putting it in a to-do list so that I don't have to remember it.
Yeah.
And that's a key skill, I think, that is really valuable to enable you to leverage your mental capacity.
Yeah.
I've got the ability now, I never used to, but that when I have something to deal with, I deal with it, and I make sure that it's dealt with mentally, and I put then down what I need to understand my mental solution, and then I'm done with it. It's done now.
Yeah.
And so that allows me to then clear my brain for whatever next I have to deal with. So, ultimately I package in my thought into could be a task on Asana or whatever, you put it with enough notes for me to trigger the thought that I had that solved the problem. So then I can free myself up to deal with the next thing. And so that's how I got through. It sucked. I was meant to have some time off. I got none. So my first kid, I didn't have any time off with the family, which obviously was not good, and all those kind of things. But the good news is this time around, I touch wood, nothing happens on the week of. That wasn't planned, but leading into where we will be in a much better place, I think, to be able to give me the 3 weeks off or whatever I want to take to be able to enjoy that close bondage time.
Bro, what's your genius mode? We sort of skated on it and went to your other stuff. What do you think it is?
Modeling and problem solving.
What do you mean by modeling?
So doing the thing that you've explained that I do. So take the grey, or take a scenario or a situation and be able to break it down into its pieces and be able to understand, understand on a deep level what creates it.
Right.
So that then I can piece it all back together in a way that operationally makes sense.
Where did you learn that?
Oh, wow.
Is that just a thing that I don't know? Like that fucking people learn it in college or
something? No way. No. It's never really taught. It's never been I've never learned a lesson in how to do it. If
it's a hyper practical thing. The way I'm thinking about it,
I think you have to be contextual, to be honest.
Yeah.
You do it, man. You said you did it yourself, right? You've got but it's hard, it's hard to know where you learn it, right?
Yeah. No, I'm talking specifically about modeling. That's something that I've seen you in action do.
Okay.
You go into your fucking hands waving out here and give you a whiteboard, bro. But
yeah.
So modeling and problem solving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'll end up being and spending all my time when I'm finished. That's it.
Yeah.
And the strategic planning, which comes with the modeling, right? I like looking at, the end game and be able to model that back. So that, when you were talking about the visionary thing and you were talking about that's a form of modeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I love. I really love doing that because I love learning.
Yes.
And I love being curious, and you have to have those skills to be able to create this scenario. And the beauty of it is it also enables you to break things down on such a level that you can disseminate, and it doesn't then therefore rely on your brain. So it's oftentimes, you'll know someone who's just a genius or something, right? And you're like, why? What do they think about? That intrigues me. So I love sitting down. I mean, we've done it, but sitting down and go, what goes on in here, and how can I then put that on a piece of paper and build it out in such a way that, because a lot of people are just it's intuition or, it's experience. It's okay, those two things can give you a outcome or a tangible output. Let's see if we can put it on a piece of paper and through asking questions and then reciting back to people, is this what you mean? Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I'm like, cool. So you mean yeah? And they're like, yep. I'm like, awesome. Next. And
you would have been a good lawyer, bro.
Bro, honest, it's so fun. My brother's a lawyer. Crazy, eh? I don't like reading. Yeah. That's my downfall. I would love, the idea of being a lawyer, I hate and love at the same time.
Yeah.
I love thoughtful disagreements.
Yeah.
I love delving into the deepest things. That's I've literally said this to my brother. I said, but I can't read.
Yeah.
I can, but not. It is one of those things on my genius mode.
Yeah.
That I'm not good at, that I want to get better at.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Because imagine if you could read really fast. You see these people with speed reading, able to That's
Why reading? Like, why? Like,
this day and age is less and less important because you
Yeah.
have the ability to listen, and I'm really good at retaining information when I hear it. So it's less and less important. But there is so much information in written form that if I was good at and fast at reading, imagine how much I could learn.
yeah,
I'm forever a student.
yeah,
So the idea of being able to learn better is exciting.
yeah.
But again, as you said, why? Like there's other ways of learning.
Yeah. No, it's probably a time thing, eh? Like with a book, it's like chill, relax, fucking open a book, get into it.
Yeah.
Like, and I sort of feel like
Takes a lot of time.
you got fucking 4 companies, kid, one on the way. Like, it's just like, when do you do that? So
You got to make time for learning though.
yeah,
So you would, you know what I mean? Like I get it because we can listen in the car when we're driving, right? So it's that, so yeah, there's that. But, so I read, but I read I read fiction, the fake one. I read fantasy shit.
Stories,
to take me on a creative journey.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, sometimes that helps me with business and constructually kind of coming up with weird and wonderful ideas.
Yeah. It's probably inspiring too, though.
Right?
Yeah. Cool, brother.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got one thing. I got one more thing. I really got to get out. And we've been dancing around a lot. I've went to say it, but then we've gone elsewhere. Like, one of the biggest things that intrigues me a lot about business is that people want to grow, right, and they want to move up.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me how many places out there, the places that people can move up to aren't actually inspiring positions to be in. So, this is something that I learned very early on in the days as well. It's like, if I'm the owner of a business, and I have managers in my team, and they look like they're working 50 to 70 hours a week, and it's not the hours, because like I'm big on making work so enjoyable and like part of who you are as a person, that you shouldn't be counting hours. It shouldn't matter. Hours shouldn't matter. So I have a very different perception on work-life balance. Barriers to me is showcases you're in the wrong job. So if you're putting up barriers, it's a bad look. I would be questioning where you are. But if you want to...
Do you mean, physical barriers?
No.
Like, sorry, what do you mean by barriers?
You know how people are like, I want good work-life balance. And you're like, what does that mean? They're like, I finish when I finish.
Yes.
And I do 38 hours a week.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a life.
Yeah.
And you're like, so you're not living at work?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but you know what I mean. I'm like, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But do you know what you mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, and I'm like, you mean to say that for 38 hours of your working life, the time that you're awake, which is a lot as a percentage of the wake time, you are not enjoying it, and you're doing it so that you can live for the week. Like, what are you doing? If you need to put up barriers, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And change your scenario.
Yeah.
Like, I work stupid hours, not because I have to, because I want to, and I enjoy it. So people who may look at me and feel sorry for me for working there, I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
I chose this.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
There's areas that I don't,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
but 80% of the time, it's 80-20 rule, right? Like but like a true, someone who is in the right space is someone who is passionately engaged with what they're doing. So the time shouldn't matter. They shouldn't be looking at their watch going, when can I go home? Like, go home now and don't come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the wrong place.
Yep.
Like, true work-life balance is one that is blurred because work is life and life is work.
Yes.
And it's about it because it's so in line with who you are and what you want to give to the world in terms of the value that you can provide others, that you have no problems going there.
Yeah.
That to me is what people should strive for, not for barriers in their life, blockades. It's like, imagine saying to your wife, right, 5 hours a day, you're not allowed to fucking talk to me. That's it. I don't even want to know you exist.
That's a cool way to put it.
Why would you marry that person?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know?
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that, you know, but really quickly to the manager thing, yeah, like that then has to be bred into the organization, because if you want people to aspire to grow, you've got to make the growth look attractive.
Yeah, man.
You know, and that leads back to the whole journey about being a leader, not a manager, because management is just creating reliance on yourself in so many ways that you become a slave, you know, and that is shithouse. Why would anybody want to do that? Like, to me, you want to create a place where it's about leverage. It's about, I can create more value with my time through the empowerment of others, that my impact and value increases, so that I can progress and grow myself as a human being. And therefore, because I'm producing more value, I will gain more value, because someone else who pays me money will see how valuable I am and will give me that.
Fucking amen, bro.
But you know, like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, a true amazing team member will, you know, should never have to ask for money, because the owner should be sitting back going, fuck, I got to pay them more, man, because they are so worth more.
Yeah.
And I got to, like, Jesus, they're amazing. And I just, you know, just keep them, you know, and because they just, like, I wish I had more money in the bank so I could give them more money, because they're worth more. And maybe I can't physically, because I just can't right now. But that's the employee you want to be.
Yeah.
Not the one who's coming going, I think I'm worth more.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? I've been here 5 years and, you know, I've got this experience. And I'm like, yeah, but your outcome's crap.
Yep.
Don't be that guy. You know?
Yep. Yeah. I hear you, bro. It's and
sorry.
No, man. I loved it. No. I've actually finding the right people. We didn't even get into that, but it's I love where you're going with that. But I wanted to ask you one thing.
Hit me.
What's one piece of advice that you'd give your boys? What is that? What's the one piece of advice? If you could give them one piece, what would it be?
Learn to listen.
Oh. Okay.
I think the world wants to tell you how to have whatever it is that you want in life. You've just got to listen. And I think so many people in this world, even through traditional education, teaches you how to speak, but they don't teach you how to listen. And I think you'd be hard pressed these days coming up with something that you want in life, whether it be a way of life or a material thing or whatever it is. I mean, you know, I'm not judging any of those endeavors, that somebody else hasn't got. And therefore, therefore the information's out there for you to learn. You've just got to be willing to listen.
Awesome, brother. Toby Atkins, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All good, brother. Awesome, man. Bro, that's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Was it really? Sorry, bro.
No, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It just disappears, eh?
It does,
the
man.
time.
Such cool chats.